and welcome to the Holy Heist. I am DMing. My name is Luke, and we have got these three lovely players here that are going to introduce themselves. Chris, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Hey everybody, it's been a bit since 225 has had a stream, so welcome. Hope you enjoy with our live play today. I'm Chris. I'm in with 225 games with Garrett. Hopefully you've seen us around before, but tonight I'm playing Judge Claude. He's not a nice
Such a
guy.
good name, by the way.
I appreciate that. I totally stole it from Disney, so
Oh, nice.
hopefully somebody gets my references.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But
Okay.
other than that, I'm looking forward to having a great time and bothering Asher as much as possible.
Well, I guess I might as well just segue into that. My name is Asher. I tend to play a lot with Chris and the rest of them at 225. I will be playing Jeremiah Jurassic Park, or sometimes it just goes by Jerry. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to being bullied by Chris over here. That's something I'm not looking forward to at all.
Great. Well, we are looking forward to it, the rest of us. So, saddle in.
Great.
And then Christine?
Hi everybody, I'm new here. My name is Christine, or you can find me on Instagram at slumber.jane or on Twitch at slumberjane here. I'm going to be playing a tabaxi roguelike named Inigo Montoya.
I
love
very
your name. Oh my gosh.
It's a real good one. By the way, I forgot to plug myself, but I'm on Instagram at LilLuke the DM or on Twitch at just LilLuke. LILLUKE. So, I'm a little guy.
Yeah, and y'all should put your links in there at some point. That way people.
Oh,
can
like
find
in the
you.
chat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I should pull that up. Yeah, that's a good idea. But in the meantime, should we begin?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go off to the magical land of Storyellus. We are going to be settling down on a boat that is heading through the water towards the mythical and holy island of Takapo, where the Jarl Klesia, or the Jarl Klesia, happens to reside. The Jarl Klesia being the most powerful religious center in the world, the home of the laws that are enforced across the entire continent, and the home of an individual known as the Jarl, the most powerful man in the world, for now, at least. We're gonna come in on this ship, rocking in the waters. This is Christine. This is your character's ship. Do you want to describe yourself and what you think the ship looks like?
Sure. Well, is it a big ship, DM?
That's up to you.
Okay.
Do you
It's
think you share it with other people, or is this yours?
my ship. I think it's named oh shoot. Hold on, I'm gonna think about it while I describe it.
Okay. It's only gonna be in the game for like a minute and a half, so it's not that important. But
well okay, it's just like a privateer ship with some like dark gray sails. And it's small. It's pretty small. So it's just like you could man it with like five people or so. So like more like a converted fishing boat, if you will.
I love it.
And at the wheel you have Inigo, who is a black tabaxi, who is dressed in the typical kind of like less pirate and more assassin-y garb. They've got a hood and the mask over the face, bright yellow eyes, and just kind of like
Awesome.
minding their business, steering. Probably about medium height, like 5'6" cat. Very slender, dressed all in dark colors.
Awesome. I think also the tabaxi in this world are known as the catniperi. So you're a catniperian rogue.
Sweet.
On this night, as I think there's like it's overcast and there's a little bit of a drizzle of rain as a rowboat is being lowered from the side of this ship where you are going to split up. Ineko, are going to the main port of the island, while we have a couple stowaways sneaking in through the back. Would you guys like to describe yourselves on this rowboat as it's being lowered into the water?
Sure, you can go ahead.
So, you see, so I'm a small man, not very tall.
Me too. Yeah.
I'm in a, I'm in a, I'm in a I'm in a white outfit. I've got a little white, I can't remember what the name of the hat is called. I'm just slipping my mind.
Like a bowler hat,
Not a bowler hat, it's,
like a fedora.
fedora, that's that. I
Gotcha.
was slipping my mind. But yeah, I have a little white fedora hat on me. And I'm an old man. I mean, I'm not like completely old yet, but I'm not as young as I used to be.
It's like
And
35.
Yeah, we can all relate.
no. Oh, I'm older than the 30s. I'm maybe in my late 40s.
Right, old. Ah, I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get it.
old. And I'm walking around with a cane. It's a wooden cane with an amber jewel on top of it. So, yeah.
Cool.
What
What kind of
what
a
Let's say again.
I was gonna say, what species are you?
Human.
would you, if you would compare yourself to, and this is a wild shot in the dark, but the guy that runs the Jurassic Park in the movie Jurassic Park, do you think that you and him would have any similarities physically? Any characteristics in common?
I'd look handsomer. That would be it.
Oh, yeah, but otherwise identical.
Otherwise identical, yeah.
Perfect. I love it. And how about you, Chris?
Yeah, so Judge Claude is also a human. He's a human fighter. He's super original and creative like that because he's a human fighter.
Haven't heard of that.
He's
before.
please enjoy that, y'all. It's so different. But yeah, he's a human fighter. He's kind of a tall man. He's got a little bit of an intimidating presence. People often describe him as not pleasant to be around. And that's a great time. But he's wearing black robes with a purple and red kind of accents. Kind of runs down the front and on the shoulders. And he seems to be scowling all the time.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Can you give us a little taste of what that scowl might look like?
I'm not good at scowling. Unfortunately, that's
Ah.
not really my forte.
I guess we'll just have to leave it up to our mind's eye. All right.
Maybe when I'm feeling it, maybe we're in the flow. Maybe we'll get
Okay, yeah. When we get there, when you're really in your character. All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So the two of you lower as this rowboat touches down into the water, and the two of you split off in different directions as you can see the other boat disappearing into the horizon as this island starts to loom between the two of you. This fog is swirling around it as you can see these cliffs climbing up it and the jungle sort of peeking out over the top. In Neko, you pull your ship around into the port that you're familiar with. It is not the main port of the city of Da Capo, but a more direct route and a slightly more hidden one that allows you much more direct access to the palace grounds, though it is still heavily guarded. Um, the two of you, Judge and Jerry, Judge and Jerry, that's fun. I can get used to that. Uh, are seeing no such. You're at what is essentially the Cliffs of Insanity from Princess Bride, if we're all familiar. As you see these cliffs looming up around you on either side, and you're sailing through a crevice between them. And then finally, a small little sandbar provides just enough footing for you to get out and survey the island that you're beneath. Um, we are going to start with Ineko. You. Oh, I'm hearing a little bit of echo all of a sudden. And I'm not anymore. Okay, we're good. My bad. Um, totally lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Oh, uh, you are reporting back from a stealth mission that you've done on the Jarl Ecclesia's behalf. I think that where do you think that you go first once you land?
Well, I don't know. Would you say I work directly for the Jarl, or would I have a handler?
I think that you have a handler, absolutely. The Jarl almost never shows his face. Even those that are very, very close to him only rarely see him. He's notoriously cautious. Um, I think that if you would have a handler. In fact, I think that you would probably I think you would probably just know to return back to your own living quarters, where you would find the Jarl's son, who has been acting as a handler for you recently, waiting inside of there.
Okay.
The Jarl's son is a man in his. Is that where you think you would go first, though? Is reporting back to your handler?
Yeah, I think that. Well, yeah, I think just to keep appearances looking business as usual, I would go return to my handler as soon as I got to dock.
Great. Now, the Jarl's son is a man in his late 30s that looks older than that, but he's kind of tall and wiry, and he has a cream-colored suit that's a little bit ill-fitting on him, with sort of gold accents and a shimmering golden bow tie. You can sort of see the vest underneath his suit jacket as well. A darker color that sort of stands out against his suit jacket. He's sitting on an ottoman in sort of one of your in your living space, and is sketching something on your coffee table. And he looks up and greets you. Now the Jarl's son, whose name is Kalis. Oh wait, I've got it right here. Kalis Solanus, the cardinal, is actually the one that suggested to you that maybe it was time that the Jarl doesn't stick around too long. And he looks up as you walk in.
I'll take a knee and say,
At ease.
stand up.
It's good to see you again, in Echo. How have you been?
Oh, glad to have my feet back on land, not so into the water stuff. And she looks
I
a
can
little.
hardly blame you. Sorry?
They look a little nervous.
He sort of smiles warmly at you as he sets his drawing down. He says, I expected you earlier. Much, much earlier. We have very little time to act in. but I think you're capable of it. Do you know what day it is?
Tuesday.
You're right, yes, it is Tuesday. But it is much more than that. It's no ordinary Tuesday. It is the eve of the millennia anniversary of the date that Mark Septimus received the Tears of Divinity and the Jarl Ecclesia was born. 1,000 years ago, tomorrow. Now, listen. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just is that why you chose that day of all days?
Yes, yes. You see, my father, he never, ever, ever comes out in public. But tomorrow, we have an opportunity. In honor of the 1,000-year mark, he's going to be announcing publicly his successor. Or at least that's what the rumors say. It's not true. He's not going to do it. He's going to have the High Cardinal, whose name is right here, Gallus Lucan, announce it in his stead. But if Lucan were indisposed, then he would be forced to make the announcement himself. It's what everybody is already expecting. This is where you come in. The two of us, we can make a good team. Do you think that that Kalis, the Jarl's son, Cardinal Kalis, do you think that he knows that you have brought other scallywags to come and accomplish this task with you?
Yeah, I think it was his idea, probably,
Great. Yeah.
to
He
go
says,
find other people. Maybe not them specifically, but like.
Yeah. He says, have you brought any out? He
I
talks a
have.
little bit like an old man, even though he's not quite one.
He's a young guy with an old soul. I got you. I'm
He
following.
is. Yeah.
Yes. That's all he says.
How many? He's turned away from you and has started rummaging through a satchel on the ground next to him.
There's the angry guy and the scaly guy. 2.
And he looks up. I see you know your numbers quite well. Yes, that was impressive counting. And he pulls out a couple little cloth satchels, very small cloth bags that he offers towards you. You might want these. Could be helpful. You take the bags from him, and inside are some silver cufflinks, 3 sets of them. And he says, those are sending stone cufflinks. You can speak through them, and your voice is heard out the other ones. You should give some of them, a set each, to your friends. It would help. He says, where are they? How are they? Do they have a plan of entrance?
Is that something we would have discussed beforehand, like during the
I think
trip?
it is, yeah. I think that's, in fact, the reason you brought Jerry Rassick was because he had he would be able to gain entrance through the back of the island, the unscalable cliffs.
Right. Well, then we would probably have come up with a rendezvous point.
Yeah. So
So-
here I can give you sort of a basic layout of the island. You can tell me where you think that rendezvous point was.
I can
the-
also just kind of tell you if there's a specific area that we were going to be using Jeremiah in. I imagine that, or Jerry in. I imagine that the rendezvous point would be located near wherever that is.
Yes. Okay, so the Jarl Ecclesia sort of dominates this island, right? There's this sort of small city that's built around it called Dacopa that is the home of a lot of the family members of the Jarl Ecclesia and the Jarl Ecclesiastic clergy, but and they sort of help operate a lot of the goings on of the island and keep the island somewhat self-sufficient as well as operating a lot of the trade. But the majority of the island is dominated by the palace ground, and the borders around the palace ground actually go right up to the cliffs that our friends are at the base of right now. So the cliffs that they're beneath are the sort of the backside of the palace grounds that are considered unscalable and aren't even guarded. Because of that. I think that the closest buildings to them would be either the main building of the palace itself, sort of the backside of it, or the servant housing quarters, as well as the places where they do like laundry and things like that.
Would I know if Gallus
You're very
Lucan...
familiar with the layout of the island. You've been all over it.
Okay.
But yeah.
I think that Ineko is kind of getting the idea that they need to get rid of Gallus Lucan first, so before they can go after the Jarl. And I'm wondering if they would know if Gallus Lucan lived in the palace or not.
You're wondering if Ineko would know?
Yes.
Yes. So most of the clergy, especially the highest-ranking officials, of which Gallus Lucan is, live outside of the palace grounds in palatial mansions. There's sort of a few housing districts that are just opulent, that are where a lot of the highest and wealthiest clergy live, and he would likely, as he's the leader of he's the presiding leader of the Circle of Cardinals, so he is almost second in command to the Jarl. He is he would absolutely be in one of those just opulent mansions.
Okay, so he's not in the actual palace or even on the palace grounds. He's just outside of them.
As you're thinking about this, Kalis cuts off your train of thought and he says, "There's going to be a gala all day tomorrow. The celebrations are going to go through phases, but at the end of them, dawn tomorrow morning, is when the Jarl is going to make his announcement. I think that this gala is the perfect opportunity for you to infiltrate with whatever fuddy buddies you have and get whatever business done that needs to, if you understand my meaning."
Of course.
Now, and he spreads out a paper on the on your coffee table, and you can see that he has been sketching a sort of rough map of the palace. He says, "Now I have some thoughts," and we're gonna cut away from that and visit our buddies at the base of this cliff. Now, Judge and Jerry. Jerry, you were brought on this mission partially because you had a way to make climbing these cliffs manageable, in the form of something that you were particularly good at. And I'm going to let you tell us how you think that plays out. I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, gosh. I don't have my sea legs like I used to anymore. It's a little hard on the travel for me, but I see we gotta get up these cliffs. Hey, good boy.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Can't imagine he's talking to anybody else.
I don't know if he had one of his animal friends or not. I was like, I don't know, man. He's a weird guy.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have any characters there. He's not talking to me. You know?
I'm surprised you managed to do anything at all, old man. Why are you here?
Well, you need me to help you get you up these cliffs, why don't you? Here,
You
give
look
me a
like you can
second.
barely get out of the bed in the morning.
Don't judge people by their appearances, good sir.
You're like
I used to
48
be a
again,
quite
right?
well
To
adventurer.
clarify.
Yeah, I'm like in my late
Yeah.
40s.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
You just sit there a while. I get our forms of transportation up these cliffs. And while I'm doing that, I am going to be casting Conjure Animals. And
Cool.
I will be summoning 2 pterodons for us to ride on.
Oh, that's dope. That is not even what I expected, but that's so cool. Yeah. How do you I think that all of your magic works necromantically, right? So you have like remnants of fossils of these different creatures that you're casting. And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna like we're just
I
gonna
actually
chalk
had
it all up to like a materials component bag that just has all of it in it. But
Yeah, because I was actually going to describe how this is going to go. So,
yeah, so I was gonna ask you.
so
I was asking you to do that.
yeah, so as I grab into my materials pouch, I grab what seems to be the wing, parts of the bones of a wing of a pterodon. And as I hold it in my hand, I start to chant some. I start to chant some ancient words, and you can see sort of, almost like it sort of seems like a projection, sort of starting to appear, where you see these little two, sort of like you see these 2 ethereal lights coming out of the bones, and from these 2 lights, you see a projection of like the pterodon's body start to form around these 2 little wisps, as you would call them, and you slowly start to see like it starts as like an incorporeal form of a pterodon, like you can clearly see through it, but then it starts to get more clear and more opaque as I continue my chanting until eventually you see these two medium-sized pterodons sitting on these sandy shores.
Cool. Yeah, like a glass of water filling like with ink spreading through it. You watch the color become thicker and deeper across this whole creature until it is a breathing being of flesh in front of you. Um, these 2 enormous beasts, they're quite large. Look down at the 2 of you, grunting and steam coming from their nostrils. Um, and what do the 2 of you do?
Well,
Judge,
I
how do you
first
react to this, by the way?
Kind of snarls at it and goes, "Such low forms of magic.
That was
Is
a pretty
that
good scowl.
really why
Yeah, I'm gonna
you're
call out. I
here?"
think that was a pretty good scowl I saw over there.
It's trying, you know. You just
Yeah.
have to suck all the happiness out of your life real quick, you know, for the facial expression.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see you doing any better, Mr. Holy Man. And I go up to my pterodons and I grab in my little backpack, I grab some little food for them to eat. Here you go, Charlie and Mary. Have some treats. And I
Alright.
have them eating out of my hand.
Can I have you roll animal handling for me? With
Yes.
advantage because you summoned them. This is first roll of the game, guys. First roll of the game!
Yay!
Nat 1.
Don't screw it up.
Nat 1.
Yeah. Gotta way to encourage me there, Chris.
I'm a good teammate. What can I say?
That's a 14.
Awesome. Yeah. I think that they both snort and kind of look at you and take a moment to sort of like size you up before they choose to sort of nuzzle forwards, and then after a moment they are eating out of your hand. These 2 creatures that you've summoned.
Yes, good. Good boys and girls. Now, Mr. Holy Man, would you hurry up and get on Mary over here? And please do be gentle. She's quite finicky, this one.
don't mean to
Have you?
ride
Are these the
this
same dinosaurs that
beast.
you summon every time, or is it? Or is it? Oh, okay, cool. So you just always like you have the bone, and it conjures up the same beast.
Yeah, because how I imagine necromancy, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, is that like
No, yeah.
so I imagine necromancy is like where you're bringing out the soul of the creature, but like what I consider the soul, it's like the creature's memories. So I'm using that creature's memories in order to sort of like create a corporeal form for them to be able to inhabit this world instead of like just putting it into a random like flesh body or something. I'd rather use their memories to sort of like gain like what did they sense in their lifetime, or what did they feel, and sort of like emulate or like project that into a more physical form using. I like to think of like maybe more physical form of illusion magic or maybe conjuration.
Okay, yeah. Like you believe it. You believe in it so hard that it's real, kind of a
Yeah.
thing. I like that.
I
That's cool.
believe in magic.
Awesome. So then, what do the two of you do?
I
You want
will
me to
climb
ride
onto.
this beast? Smells.
It
Well,
snorts at you and kind of huffs and scrapes its feet on the ground a little bit.
why'd you have to go and do that? You hurt Good Mary's feelings. If you want, you can climb this cliff edge yourself, and I can simply just wait up at the top for you.
Things I do for my lord.
Yes, yes. Now, quickly get on. We are on a tight schedule.
I make sure to tighten up my gloves, so that way I don't actually have to touch the beast myself, and mount up upon it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sort of feel it
Fine.
shuddering
Let's-
underneath you. It's hard to find a way to sit on it comfortably. You just kind of can't really. Sorry. And then you were gonna say something, Asher?
Yeah, so I'll get on top of Charlie. I'm gonna get on top of Charlie and say, "Ah, Charlie, it's been a good long time since we've last had a good flight, haven't we?"
Charlie sort of huffs and sort of like, you know how pterodactyls have those like, or pterodons, they've got those like way back heads, you know? It's like this kind of a thing. I think he kind of like nuzzles the back of his head sort of into like your hands or something, as though he's like sort of scratching you with the top of his skull, and then leans forward and takes off. And after a second, your judge, you're holding on as Mary is following suit, sort of like hanging on for dear life. You have no like you feel like you're gonna slip off at any second as these things swoop up and sort of spiral upwards between these two cliffs. As at this moment the clouds part and the moon is able to shine through, and as these two dinosaurs crest over the top of this island, you're able to see the palace of the Jarl sprawled out before you.
You're in trouble there, good holy man.
There's the city. It's finally within my grasp. Finally, time to crush the Jarl.
The moonlight shines off of these gorgeous and opulent buildings. You can see the palace grounds themselves made up of the main palace, a huge rectangular building with a golden dome on top, covered in windows, stained glass windows that are angled upwards and outwards like beams shooting out all over it, with four long, skinny, rectangular towers at each corner, with glass going up each side of them, and huge electric lights illuminating from the bottom, from the outside, while electric lights are also illuminating from the top within them, creating an interesting flow of light that's imitated across the entire palace grounds. Uh, and this gorgeous Art Deco style all over across the entire island. As these pterodactyls are sort of sailing on the wind here, these pterodons, where are you guiding them?
Uh, would we know it? Like, would we know like a meeting point that we would meet in Echo?
I think so. I sort of described a couple different places to you, but I can tell you right now that there's the within the palace grounds there is the palace itself where the Jarl resides, and then there are three offshoot wings of the palace that are separated from the palace itself, sort of shaped like um, huge triangles, almost in a semicircle facing it, sort of creating a full circle between the four buildings. Each of them representing a different court beneath the Jarl Ecclesia. And in the center of them, you can see the huge amphitheater that is known as the Tear Well, or the Well of Tears. And as you're sailing forward, you can see once again the servants' quarters and the sort of maintenance buildings, like where laundry and electricity and things are handled, plumbing. You can also see the some a few houses, mansion-like houses within the palace grounds, and then a large sets of opulent buildings outside. I love the word opulent right now. It just feels perfect. But outside of the palace grounds and across the city, and you can sort of see the city glittering around the port in the distance.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. So I would direct the pterodons to at least head towards the meeting spot that we were going to meet in Echo then.
So where do you guys think that the meetings? You guys all determined a meeting spot ahead of time with knowledge that you were going to be having to meet up later. So between the three of you, where do you think that would have been?
Probably through the servants' quarters or whatever entrance in Neko would normally take if she might have a way of being able to smuggle us in.
I don't think that she does as of yet. I think that especially with the gala, security is very different from how it usually is right now. I don't think that there is a place that is just lax in security. I think that the place that you would be smuggled from. I don't think that there's any obvious places to do any smuggling, if that makes sense.
Would there be like a? Oh, go ahead, Nico.
No, go ahead. I was just going to ask a question, but you might answer it.
I was gonna ask if there was like a clearing, like close to the palace, like on this cliff area. That's like maybe like a staging area that we could use.
There absolutely is. Yes. You can see there's kind of like just outside of the palace. You can see the olive orchards where the olive trees are, or where the olive oil is produced, that creates the anointing oil that the magic of the Jarl Ecclesia comes from. But I think that you can see the up, like sort of near where you guys are behind the palace. There's a lot of jungle out, like sort of still technically within the palace grounds, like within the borders of it, but outside of where people really maintain it, sort of in the direction of those orchards, where you can see that there are some there's a clearing there, kind of on a rise above the palace.
All right. I said we land there.
All right.
And then make our way to sneak into the palace then.
That is perfect. As these pterodons sort of glide on the wind down towards this space, and then flap in, can I have you guys both make perception checks for me?
Perception. Oh, I'm kind of good at that. 17.
11.
11.
Okay,
The
sure.
17 makes it. As you guys swoop in and sort of land in this clearing, Judge, you realize just slightly too late that there are some servants picking fruit from some of the trees in this clearing, and they are flanked by a few Wolfavian, or the wolf people, hulking guards that are also helping carry some of their baskets, that all look up to see these two dinosaurs land in this clearing. And we are going to cut away from that and cut back to our friend Ineko. However, I have been drinking a ton of water, so I have to go use the bathroom really fast. I will be right back. I'm so sorry. Be right back. You guys just chat without me.
Well, Chris. Yeah. Oh, we're just coming up with a battle plan against these servants.
You're not supposed to be able to do that yet. You guys can't talk to each other yet. Come on. That's okay.
If it makes you feel better, I wasn't helping at all.
Gotcha. Oh, you guys were talking about right.
Her hands
that-
are clean.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, by the way, for making you guys like answer so many questions about that require foreknowledge of the island without really giving you a whole lot to work with. But you guys are doing great. I appreciate everybody's Anyway, everybody's doing great.
Great time.
We're gonna cut back though to Ineko, or as soon as we're back. Are we back? Cool. Ineko, you are in this in your room with Cardinal Kalis, who is spread out a map of the palace in front of you. And he is speaking. He says, "Now listen." And he reaches into the pouch next, or the satchel next to him, and pulls out a very, very small glass vial that's filled with something white with a like a cork stopper on top. And he proffers it towards you. Seems to be like some kind of a powder or something. And he says,
I see where you're going with this.
"Now listen. We don't want to kill the man, all right? But it is important that he is not around for this upcoming evening. And it's also important that him not being around is not too suspicious. He has been known to disappear before, and I have been spreading rumors of his illness, so it wouldn't be too strange if he were overtaken. This is a sedative. I think that," and he gestures to the map. There's going to be a gala taking place within the main ballroom of the palace itself. If you and your friends can get in there, one of you should try to slip this into his drink. However, he's always flanked by guards, that man, and they're quite perceptive. Somebody's going to have to deal with them to make sure that he is not discovered. And somebody else is going to have to make sure that as soon as he kaputs, there's a place to stash him until he wakes up again. Is that tracking?
Yes, absolutely, my lord.
Now, I don't know exactly where or how you'll do this, but that is your area of expertise. I trust you. I believe in you.
Well, I am usually you said not to kill him, right? That's not really.
It would probably work better if he wasn't killed. Because if he were found to be dead, then my father, the Jarl, would never come out of his room.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Um,
I have an idea.
I suppose, though, if he were to die and nobody were to find him till after the announcement, that would not be so bad. What's your idea?
I thought perhaps I could borrow some official servant's attire for my two companions to be able to wear and sneak us into the gala, perhaps as serving staff, since I imagine that I was called back to provide security for the event.
It's not a bad idea at all. Perhaps you could steal some from the laundry. And we are going to cut back from that to you two, who are about to encounter some active servants. You are in this clearing with your two dinosaurs, and in front of you are three hulking Wolfavians who are all sort of dropping these baskets of fruit to the ground and pulling out these gleaming golden swords that are sort of shaped. You know how like Art Deco like glass design always has those like beams going out of like sort of widening rectangles, and then sometimes there'll be like one in the middle that's like pointed at the top. It's the shape of these swords, with this sort of like blocky little hilt that sort of mimics that style. As they're also, by the way, all wearing cream-colored suits that are sort of tight across their chests. You know, furs sort of sticking out. They don't look entirely comfortable, but and behind them are two human servants that are in serving garb, backing away slowly and frightened. What are the two of you going to do?
Well, it seems we've gotten ourselves in quite a pickle here, oh holy man.
If you call this a pickle, maybe you're not cut out for this.
Now, no need to be so harsh.
It's true.
Alright, Charlie. You see that weird wolf man over there? How about you just pick him up? Would you do that for me, Charlie? I like Charlie to attempt to pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, are you directing him at one of the Wolfavians or one of the servants?
One of the Wolfavians.
Great. Wolfavians, by the way, for the audience, are very large wolf people. Very brawny and strong wolf people. And Charlie starts moving towards one of them. I'm gonna have you guys roll initiative.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh no.
Oh, did our holy man get a bad roll?
Yeah.
I love me a good bad roll. Oh,
Um,
boy, I just accidentally dumped my whole dice tray in my lap. Give me one moment here.
just
Roll
let me know
all the
whenever
dice.
you're ready to hear the numbers.
I am. Jerry, what are you?
12.
12. Would you mind giving me your hit points?
51.
51 and your armor class?
13.
Okay.
That's like
And
using
how about
initiative
you,
back.
Judge? Your
I got
armor
an
class is
8.
13? Are you sure? You're level 8. Are you sure that your armor class is 13?
Yeah,
I guess you are a druid.
I have leather armor and a shield.
Great. Oh, that's perfect. All right, and Judge, how about you?
I got an 8 for that sweet
8.
sweet initiative. That's amazing. And I got 69 hit points.
69 hit points. What's your armor class?
And
That's a good number.
16.
16. Okay.
160.
160.
160.
Got you. All right. I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
I think I'm just quickly reading up on my conjure animals. I guess I gotta roll initiative for my pterodons.
Yeah, I think that you do need to do that. While you're doing that, we're gonna cut back to Ineko very quickly, as as Kalis reaches towards you and grabs one your hands, sort of between his, in that way that old men do. And I will remind you once again, this guy's like 33, 35, right? Listen to me. Now, you and I, we share a goal beyond all of this. And I could use your assistance here as well. If you could acquire the signet ring of our friend, the High Cardinal, before or after he's unconscious, as well as signet ring of one of the High Pontifexes, be very, very useful to me. And you would know that the Pontifexes are the heads of each of the courts beneath the Yarclesia, right? So there's there is the tear-stained palace is like the human court that the Jarl rules, and that's the sort of the high court. And then beneath it are the three lower courts: the Patoris court, which is filled with mostly Pixinelli, the Wisterus court, which is the Wolfavian court, and the Humberus court, which are the Catniperi. And so each of them has one Pontifex that is the leader of that court. And so there's those three individuals that you, I think, have seen and are somewhat acquainted with that will also be at this gala, if that makes sense.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think you can do that. Oh.
Which would you suggest?
Well, I would probably avoid Oscar, the Pontifex of the Humberus court. Oscar Nuevita is the Catniperi Pontifex. They are pretty notorious for being like having the best intelligence networks. Their sort of claim to power within the Jarl Ecclesia and within the greater continent are their ability for trickery, right? They're very clever. They have a lot of interesting mechanical and magical machinations that are kind of always at their hand, and they always seem to know a little bit too much about what's going on. And he says, and I don't like the Pontifex of the Patoris court, Moira. Well, Moira Vertucci, the only female Pontifex right now, is the leader of the Pixnelli or the Patoris court, who they are in charge of all the trade regulations for the island, and as a result are obscenely wealthy. And they love sort of flaunting that in front of the other courts. And the thing about them is you can never. They've always, like, everybody seems to be in their pocket. You can never really figure out who's a debtor and who's not. And they trade in favors just as much as they do finances. They're tricky as well.
Are they like fairies? What's
Yes. So when I say Pixinelli, these are pixies. They're like, in my head, they've been like 7 or 8 inches tall. Is that? Can I get a confirmation on that from Garrett? Yeah, he says yes. So like 7 or 8 inches tall people, pixie wings and all that, that are just fully part of society like everybody else.
Okay, well, I think clearly the easy target's gonna be the big bad wolf. And this is just what Ineko is thinking in his head already as he's like listening to what's going on.
The Pontifex of the Wisterus court, Arlo Farrell. He's not to be underestimated, but between the three of them, I think he's the one that would be easiest to sidle alongside. He's easily the friendliest of the three. That's who I would target, I think.
Okay.
Now go! And he releases your hands and says, I'll be awaiting word, but don't visit me directly. I'll see you. And he turns and opens a secret door in the wall of your apartment, through which he descends into a secret passage that he's been using to visit you since you have started communicating.
Okay. So the place that we decided to meet was actually this orchard clearing that they landed in. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that we can agree that that's where you are expecting them to be.
Okay. Then I will start making my way there, but I'm not really moving fast because I wasn't expecting really trouble, just for them to just like go and wait there for me.
Right. Sort of just breathing in the cool night air and sort of
Like,
looking
oh,
at
it's
the
nice
lights
to be
across the
back
palace.
home. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Have we finished rolling initiative over here?
Yeah, so the two pterodons, they share the same initiative, so that will be a 15 for them. Their ACs
Great.
are their ACs are 13, and their hit points are 13.
15 each?
Yeah, both of them have 15
Okay.
AC. Oh, not AC, initiative.
Great. And they, yeah. What are their names? Charlie and Mary?
Yeah.
Did you name them? Is that characters from Jurassic Park?
No, I
Okay.
just came up with the names on the spot.
Alright. I was worried you named them after like Jeff Goldblum's character or something.
Oh,
Alright.
no.
It's a fail, Asher. You failed.
I'm reserving Jeff Stain for something better.
Yeah. So these are my pterodons, Sam, Neil, and Laura Dern. Okay. Can you oh, right. Then we are good. That makes it Charlie's turn first. So you you directed him towards grabbing one of these guys?
Yeah.
And Garrett, do we have combat music going right now? I love that. I love that there's combat music right now. All right. Can you send me? Can you like Discord message me their stats? I don't know where I would find those.
For the pterodon.
Yeah. You can even you can just roll for them for whatever it is that you're trying to do. I think that would make more sense.
I have the stat box here.
Okay, yeah. Now let's just have you do that. Whatever they're gonna listen to you right now. So whatever it is that you're directing them to do, let's just have you roll it.
So for the grab, that's like it's not on their stat block. Like that's just kind of like in person. Like I mean, like kind of like impromptu. So I don't know how that would work. Just to try and grab them.
Right. So that's gonna be a contested athletics check. So do you have their athletics stat there? If it's not proficiency, then it's just their strength stat.
Yeah, I got it.
Great. Go ahead and roll that for me.
I got a 10.
Okay. A 10. I'm wishing you the best of luck right now because that is probably not quite gonna cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it does though. So you Charlie sort of scrambles over and just how do you think that do you think he just picks him up in his mouth or what is this?
So they have feet. So like as he kind of like swoops down and just kind of like using his 2 feet, he grabs the wolf avian.
Oh,
and
like in Jurassic World, like fully like.
Yeah, he could like swoops
yeah,
down
right. Yeah.
Picks him up like that.
Sort of, you hear him shout as these claws sink into his shoulders. At this point, the 2 servants that you guys saw earlier are turning to sprint in the other direction. in just mad terror. And this wolf avian is sort of swinging his sword up at Charlie and sort of not quite able to find any purchase just yet. That brings it to Mary.
For Mary, she's going to go and sort of, let's see. I'm going to have Mary head on over and try and grab one of the servants.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be opposed athletics check. Your odds are a lot better on this one.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Asher, next time make a dinosaur sound when you roll for the dinos. Gives you more inspiration.
Yeah.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, well I rolled a nat 1.
Oh, what?
So your pteranodon swoops down and clips his wing on a tree and spirals like flips over and then just lands on one of these servants and just flaps off with them as this servant just just flies away. Where are you having him go with this guy?
All right, so both Mary and Charlie, we're flying over the cliff's edge, so we're above. And we're now like standing above like that what's it called, the ravine.
Yeah. It's more of a chasm, really.
Oh, chasm. Okay.
Yeah, it's a huge, just like the island kind of splits in two right here, and so you could also call it a ravine, but it's just probably 150-foot drop to the water below.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that's going to be their turn because that's already an action movement.
Yeah. I'm just getting a feel for what you're doing with them.
Yeah.
That is going to.
Yeah, we're now just hovering, both of Charlie and Mary just hovering over the.
Great.
Chasm.
Definitely. The one wolf that's being held by Charlie was slashing up at him until there was suddenly just open water beneath him, and then he weirdly stops. Suddenly he's not so into killing this thing that's holding him in the air. So he's gonna pass his turn, and then that is gonna bring it to Jerry. Or sorry, to Jerry.
Well, I am first going to. Not really a whole lot I can do since I'm just I'm riding Charlie. So.
Oh, you're riding Charlie?
Yeah, I'm riding Charlie.
So you're on top of Charlie, and then he's also holding the wolf avian. Okay, I'm gonna do a strength check just to see if he's able to handle this right now.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he rolled. Yeah, no, he's fine. You keep going. Sorry.
Charlie's a strong boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and bend over and just whack the wolf avian underneath me. Try and get into with my amber staff. I'm just gonna try and lean over and just whack him with it.
Sure. Yeah. Roll and roll for a hit. And Judge or Chris, if you already know what you're doing, and you can just roll those dice already, and then just tell me what the numbers are when I get to you. We can run through this real fast.
Does a 11 hit?
No. I'm afraid an 11 does not hit. Yeah.
So Chris is cursing me with bad luck.
He does though see you sort of peek over, and there's this very large dinosaur between you, so he's kind of like, and you're kind of like, and you're not really able to reach each other at all, but you're both trying. As Charlie just sort of grunts and is flying between this sort of weird battle that's taking place, and we're at Judge.
So how far away? So I'm assuming as soon as we got landed, I would have gotten off of Mary.
Yeah.
And how far away is this wolf avian?
15 feet. 15, 20 feet away. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's in range.
Perfect. I would like to use my bonus action. I'm gonna stick my hand out to the side and use my weapon bond and summon my spear into my hand as I'm running forward.
Sweet. Yeah.
And I'm gonna thrust that right into this dude. And that's a nat 20 for our dear friend here.
Did you roll damage on that already?
No, I'm about to. I was like, I should roll damage too. Hold on.
Ooh.
So that is 24 points of damage.
Ooh. Is that before it's doubled or after?
That's after. That's after everything.
Okay. Yeah.
And the second attack is a dirty 20.
That still hits. Yeah.
Still hits. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is 10 points of damage on the second hit. So 24 and 10.
24 and oh, crap. Okay. Hot dang. I cut my guys down to size pretty quick. You charge towards this this wolf avian in front of you, and you can see that this one that you're aiming at is in addition to sort of the cream-colored suit, is wearing an eye patch. And as you get closer, I think you also realize that this wolf avian is a female. This is a big, brawny woman that is staring you down, and that you are planting your spear through. And she she kind of just snarls and growls as you bury your spear inside of her, and just like you feel it go all, like the haft goes all the way up to all the way through her until your hands are like against her like torso, like the bottom of her rib cage, and she is just still staring and snarling right in your face. Do you want to say anything in this moment?
Oh, absolutely, I do. As I thrust it up into its zenith point, all those who believe in the Jarl shall die. And I rip it out of him and just let blood fly.
Nice, yeah. An arc of viscera sprays across the trees behind the two of you as she like sort of catches herself after you whip your spear through her. She is still standing though. You can see this sort of gaping hole in her armor that blood is burbling out of her armor, her suit. But she looks like she's ready to swing back right now. And before it is her though, it is her compatriot's turn, who is going to be. He has pulled a sort of collapsible spear off of one like side of his belt. It's up into like almost like a javelin, and is about to try to huck it at one of these pterodactyls. Specifically the one that has got Asher on it, so Charlie. And that is a hit. Do you want to keep track of their health for me?
Yeah.
That's a good point, Garrett. That's a good point. Perfect. That is going to be 10 points of damage as this spear flies up through the air and pierces the sort of stabs into and is sticking out of the side of Charlie, who is going to roll another athletics check right now. And they are still airborne. Though they are not having a great time beneath you.
They're not.
And the wolf avian that's being held in its claws is you don't think that they can probably hear you from the ground, but he's screaming back. Just furious. And we are back at the female wolf, who is going to just I think that she's got some brass knuckles on, and she is gonna try to just whop you in the face.
bring it.
Your armor class, if I remember right. Yep. That is a. For 12 points of damage on you, Judge. As she just has these brass knuckles and leaves a stamp that just I think it says like wolf power on it or something in bright red across your cheek. We're going back to Jerry. I think I'm just gonna have you and all of the dinosaurs move in unison right now since you're holding the other wolf. So if you can just give me all of your moves.
I'm gonna command Charlie and Mary to let go of whatever they're holding.
Okay. Yeah. You watch as these two poor unfortunate souls that just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time go just scream, and you hear the and clear down in the water as they plummet to what can only be their deaths. That is, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove them from initiative right now. And
As for Mary, I'm gonna have her move and try and grab the one who threw the spear.
I made this too easy for you. I just made it way too easy for them just to pick people up, but I guess I've written these rules and now I have to live with them. So yeah, can I have you roll an athletics check for it?
It's a 15.
Is that a 15 total?
Yeah, 15 total.
That does not hit, actually. Are you aiming at one of the servants or one of the Wolfavians? Or the remaining servant?
I am having Mary aim at the Wolfavian that threw the spear.
Okay, yeah. You can see that his like clothes are a little bit too tight. His buttons are kind of straining as he runs and sees this dinosaur like diving towards him and gets underneath one of these trees next to him, sort of creating a foliage shield between Mary and him, kind of forcing her to flap off and try again.
And as for Charlie, I'll have Charlie like move to try and grab the other servants.
Fantastic. Yeah. Give me that roll.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, and so and Charlie just swoops down and just book. As this servant screams, this is a woman, and sort of once again this kind of just like a very nice cream-colored white shirt with some dark slacks and sort of a dark vest on, just screeching in unison with the pterodactyl as they fly off. Are you just gonna drop her off a cliff too? Yeah. Great. That brings it to Judge. Unless there's anything else, do you want to use your action for anything, Jerry?
Yeah, I would. Actually, no, I cannot, because if I do a spell, Charlie and Mary go bye-bye. So.
Is that true? Or what spell did you use to conjure them?
Conjure animals, which is a concentration spell.
That doesn't mean that only means you can't cast other concentration spells.
Oh,
you
true.
can cast non-concentration spells if you want to.
Yeah, I'll cast Cure Wounds then on Charlie.
Oh, nice. Just go ahead and roll that for me, and we will move on to Judge. As you sort of like put a hand down and sort of stroke him, and you see this wound start to seal up. Judge, what are you doing?
Being very displeased that this cretin has touched him. I am going to kind of flourish the spear there behind me, and as it does so, a green flame starts whirling around on the blade. As I cast green flame blade, and I thrust the spear back at him. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And do I hit with a 26?
Barely. Just
barely.
barely.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
pretty dope. Awesome. So in the second servant that was still up there, are they close by chance?
So there were two servants. One of them was just dropped off a cliff, and the other one is in the arms of a pterodon right now. So there are
Okay.
no more servants, and
Oh, sweet.
the
So it's just me and him. So,
it's just it's you and her, and then there's the one other wolf avian that's sort of just barely hid underneath a tree from one of the pterodons.
very nice. They're gonna take it's 14. Yes, I can't do math. 14 points of damage from the green flame blade, and then I use my bonus action for an attack, and that is a 19 to hit,
19 hits.
and they'll take an additional 12 points of damage.
Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, yeah. You just she's like sort of winding back for another hit as you just yeah, this green flame spirals around your spear, and then you just two more just as deep spear strikes right through her torso as two more burbling holes open up in her clothes and blood's gushing down. And at this point she's is gonna drop down to one knee and is not doing super duper great. And at this point, Ineko just stumbles in, and you see a couple. I think that you arrived just in time to watch that pterodon drop both those people. Those pterodons drop both those people off the cliff, and now here you are. I'm just gonna insert you in the initiative between these two wolf avians.
Oh, and as he kneels, as in my turn, and then an echo, sorry, or loom at him and say, "Choose forgiveness now, in your last moment."
Fantastic. Yeah. Can I have you
Yeah,
roll
that's him.
intimidation with? Sorry, what's that?
I said, "Yep, that's him." All right. Oh, go ahead. Roll intimidation.
Yeah. Is your intimidation stat good? Do you have charisma? Does your character have like a good charisma stat?
Get a
Is your
negative
strength
1
higher
for
than your
charisma,
charisma?
so
Because I feel like this would be a justifiable time to do a strength-based intimidation check, which is just
yeah, my charisma is
it would just-
garbage.
Okay, yeah, then just go ahead and do a strength-based intimidation check right now with advantage.
Oh, with advantage. That's cheap.
Yeah, this is you.
That is a 16 plus 4 plus 2. 22. Hold on. Easy math is really hard.
22. Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Mhm.
You see her like, she's lifting up her fist, sort of try to like build up the strength to clock you again, and you can see that she's not super finding it, and she's looking up at you, looming over her with that still lit spear, green flames like licking off of it, sort of illuminating you in this sort of ghostly underglow, with the moon sort of looming behind you. And I think that she is just going to what did you say to her? Kneel? Or
I said choose forgiveness in your final moment.
I think that she looks at you and she says, How would you have me do that? Burn? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Great. I'm going to give you another free attack on her, just because that was so freaking awesome. And then we're going to go to...
That is a 25 to hit.
Great, yeah. Just roll damage.
10 damage.
That does finish her off. So you just... how do you kill this wolf avian?
He kind of just swipes the spear, so the point just takes straight through the
Just
throat.
decapitates her?
No, just a throat cut.
Okay, yeah.
And
She
and as he does so, he says, "You're forgiven."
Awesome. She slumps over to her side as these flames sort of start to catch on her clothes, and these green flames lick up and sort of start to build around her as she burns here on the ground, obeying your command. As now we go to Ineka.
It's just like dead person. The other three were thrown off the cliff, right? So there's just this one
So
like.
there's
super-
one guy next to you, yeah. It's just, and I think that you two just make eye contact, and use like, I don't know what emotion you're communicating to him, but he is looking at you with just filled with terror. I think he's seeing you as an ally right now too, as he's like, thank heavens, I've got some backup here.
Yeah. Ineko's gonna quickly grab the servant and like turn them around and essentially
So the only guy left is the wolf avian, a big,
Is he a guard?
guardsman. Yeah.
He's
So
a
they're-
guard.
Yeah, he's a guard.
Oh yeah, okay. So he's seen me already?
Yes, you just made full direct eye contact with him. Unless you didn't want to. Unless you were trying to be a little bit more stealthy. In which case I can let you roll a stealth check.
I'm trying to figure out because I imagine if I heard like any of this happening that I would automatically go into like not like a sneaking mode. If this combat was loud and happening as I'm
I mean, I
approaching-
think that watching those pterodons drop those guys off the cliff was pretty visible from like wherever you were. So I don't think that that's a question of whether or not you like. At this point, I think you're aware that there's something going on. If you want to roll a stealth check for me, you absolutely can.
I'd like to roll a stealth check with the intention of like sleeper holding this guy from behind if I can. Like climbing
Great.
him like a little cat tree and just like until he goes unconscious.
Perfect. Yeah. I think that what we'll do is that's going to be both it's going to be initially a stealth check, and if you succeed the stealth check, then you're going to get advantage on the athletics check against him. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm not super great at athletics, so I'm gonna need that advantage. Okay, let's see. I'm pretty good at stealth though. Okay. For the stealth check, it is a 14.
14. That is. Wait. Actually, let me check here. That's pretty close.
I'd like to say he's probably very distracted by the ensuing combat that's happening, and also I have a +6 to persuasion DM, which I should be allowed to use IRL.
I'll let you have advantage on this because you're right. He is distracted by the battle.
I can roll stealth one more time.
One more time.
All right, it's gotta be better than it was because I rolled a 2 and I have a +11. Okay, 7 plus 11, 18.
Okay, you cleared it. Go ahead and roll those athletics checks. As you just sort of, and he's like, slapping, like grabbing your arms that are suddenly disappeared around his neck. A 19, is that what you said?
7 and a 19.
Great. Okay, let's see.
I'm not
let's
trying
see
to
how
kill
this
him. I'm just trying to knock him out.
Okay. Yeah, that's we can make this non-lethal. You said 19.
I said 19.
You are so lucky right now. Hot dang. Yeah,
Was it
I think that he's been rolling like 1 underneath you this whole time. It's crazy. So these have been some close calls right here. I don't think that yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's fine. I think that You just grab him, and he's grabbing against you, and you're just holding it against his neck and trying to cut off like the blood flow to his brain, like you have been trained to do, as you are kind of an assassin, sort of a person. And I think that he just can't really do anything against that as you sleeper hold him and he clonks to the ground. And here are the three of you now, standing in this clearing together. Probably nobody saw that.
Yeah, Inigo's just gonna be like, all right, okay, you, and he points at Judge, and he's like, I think fair is fair. Okay, you hide your body, I hide mine. let's clean this up.
If you need help cleaning up, I could just have Charlie and Mary just dump them in the chasm.
I don't care
Yes,
about the
let
dead
the
one.
beast.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, let the beast do the work.
Okay.
Well,
You didn't like these guys. Thought you weren't a fan of these dinos.
I'm above doing that, though.
It's a good answer. Good answer.
That's alright with you, Mr. Neko.
Before, actually, while they're like having this little conversation, I'm actually like stripping my dude.
Great. Yeah.
I think he's about the same size as these two guards are probably about the same size as our two guys. So I'm going with like, okay, well, you're not gonna pass as I'm like stripping the guy. I'm like, you're not gonna pass for guards, but this will get us as far as we need to so that I can get you proper outfits to get into the gala tonight. But in the meantime, just let's put these on, do what you want with the dead body.
This outfit is even too big for it. Actually, it just so happens that the guy that was left was the guy that I described as having too tight clothes. So it is possible that this could fit semi-well on our big burly friend here, Judge. Yeah, I think that if you're like they seem like they're actually close to your size here.
And he picks up the clothes after you've taken them off. Horse.
Yes. Now, Charlie and
Is
Mary.
this necessary?
Yes.
Charlie and Mary, be good pets and please dispose of them. These remains for us. And Charlie, I'm gonna have Charlie and Mary just grab the bodies and just dump them in the chasm.
The living one as well.
No,
Yeah, the living. Oh,
the
living.
Like not, like listen. I don't have anything against the guards here. I'm just gonna tie mine up in a bush and like gag him. You already killed the other ones. Just nothing. I can't bring people back from the dead. But let's try to make this as, it's already a little hot, guys. We're already a little hot. This is a little uncomfortable for me, the assassin, at the moment.
I don't like to do any unnecessary killing, but dead men tell no tales.
That's true. That's true. So I'm gonna keep tying up my guy and gag him. I'm just gonna drag him into like the
It's like,
furthest.
That is true, as you're still just tying him up.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that. All right.
That's what you wish to do. I'll just dispose of the dead one.
I'm gonna have you make a check here, Ineko, for hiding this guy in the bushes. To try and disguise him so that nobody finds him. And I'm trying to decide what check I want that to be. I think it's gonna be either sleight of hand or survival, depending on you can choose which of those that you like.
You got it, buddy. 15.
15. Okay, so I'm just gonna write down that there's a DC of 15 on that guy for other people snooping around here. I'll throw it right here.
I mean, who's to say they don't go back and finish the job when Inigo's not looking? I'm doing my part.
Hey, whatever happens, outside of here, it's not your
Yeah.
business, right?
Once that business is all good, I'm gonna hand them both the cufflinks and basically, okay, guys, listen up. So these are sending stones. They'll allow us to communicate with each other on the inside. Keep them on you at all times. Did Judge Claude put on the stuff?
Yes, he just no shame, just gets just totally naked and just starts just changing right there in front of everybody. No shame. He doesn't care who's looking.
Cool.
Man, you just stripped that wolf dude, and I had to like hold because I was like, my grandma's gonna watch this. I know that she's gonna watch this, so I had to like hold back so many jokes, and now you're doing it again. This is just you're killing me right now. Totally fine. I'm okay. We're all right.
Now, in the meantime, we need to get you guys somewhere relatively, safe. Actually, how difficult is it to access my quarters?
Your quarters? So
Like, is it the
your
main
quarters are
pathway?
in. Yeah, your quarters are in like they're kind of set apart from a lot of like the normal serving quarters, right? Because you're not really a servant. You kind of have your own, like you're in kind of an elevated position from everybody else. So you're in a much smaller housing district. That said, um, you in like a slightly nicer house, like you have like actually the kind of your own little home that is almost like in a townhome situation within the palace grounds. But that said, accessing the area that your quarters are in still would require traveling through a guard checkpoint, at least one, that you had no trouble getting through by yourself. But smuggling in a couple of strangers is going to be a little bit trickier.
Mhm. Are we anywhere near like where the servants' quarters are?
Right now you guys are kind of behind the main palace building. The servants' quarters are going to be you're on the northernmost side of the island right now, and the servants' quarters are going to be to the east of the so sort of like to your left, a ways down the hill, sort of like in a clearing that's been cut out from the jungle, is where all the sort of serving quarters and as well as the like maintenance buildings are, apart from the palace, sort of a little ways away from the rest of the opulence of the palace grounds.
They are still on the palace grounds.
Yes, when I say the palace grounds, there's sort of a border that is between the palace grounds and the city, because non-clergy are not typically allowed within the palace grounds. It's very usually a pretty restricted area. However, the actual area that the palace grounds makes up is quite large. There's a pretty huge chunk of the island is behind this boundary that normal people can't really access.
Okay.
So it is so like yeah. There's a lot of different structures that are still behind this border, including your housing. But there still is like even within this, there's checkpoints every separating the different districts of the palace grounds.
Okay. So we essentially would have to get from the north down to the south area in order to be where the servants' quarters are.
From the north to like the eastern. The service quarters are still in the northeast of the island. I think that they would probably be more accessible than your quarters.
Yeah.
You could probably sneak up to like the back of the building by just cutting through some jungle. Um, Getting
That's
like
what.
actually going into the servants' quarters, if that's what your goal is, there's going to be people in there that are going to be a little bit wary of what's going on.
Well, I imagine I wouldn't have any problem moving through the servants' quarters necessarily, and
That's true.
potentially Judge Claude because he's got the guard armor on, maybe also.
Yeah.
Turning to Jerry and Judge and basically saying, "Okay, guys, so I think that the best bet is going to be like skirting this fence and following through the jungle to get to the servants' quarters so that I can steal some clothing that we can use to get access to the gala tomorrow."
I will say that while most of the guards recognize you, and while you do have like the proper identification to like pass through checkpoints, um, the going into the servants' quarters would still be a little bit like it would draw a little bit of attention to you just because that's not a place that you're usually seen. And like somebody of your kind of status inside the servants' quarters would like they would be like, "Whoa, what are they doing here?" Kind of a vibe. Like they would be like in
Surprised.
admiration of you, but also just a little bit curious. It would be a little bit strange. It wouldn't be super everyday run of the mill. It's also no, yeah, I think that's all I'll say right now. It's also unusual for there to be guardsmen that are not Wolfavian, though Judge Claude does fill out the uniform in this particular case, which does grant credence to the idea that he is an official part of the military here.
Still better to keep him hidden as possible, though. Like, if you get a glimpse of a person walking by in armor versus like really looking at a guy walking by, like a giant man walking by in armor, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, like, you guys are both of you going into the servants' quarters would be just to the point where people would be like, huh,
Talking,
but not to the point where people would be like, hey, what's going on? You know, it would be that's kind of like the level of attention you would draw.
yeah.
Would be
Okay.
gossip.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you guys have any ideas? You studied the plans of the castle also before this.
Don't see why we don't just. Sorry. Don't see why we don't just go to the Jarl now.
Well, good
You
stuff.
don't. In Echo, you actually don't know where the Jarl lives. It's kind of a mystery. There a lot of people know that there is an under palace beneath the palace. The old palace that was kind of built over by the new one. That still a lot of those like old tunnels and passages and structures still remain. A lot of them are used for storage and maintenance, but others are used for secret meetings. And there's kind of a labyrinth of them beneath the palace that it is believed that that is where the Jarl takes his residence, but nobody knows where exactly in that space he lives, and he very rarely comes out. He usually communicates through his familiar, actually. So you
And
going
Judge
to the
Claude
Jarl
doesn't know
now,
any of that.
right? He doesn't
By
know
the
any of
way.
that. No. I'm giving this information to Aneko because she would, or he would know it,
Yeah.
or they would. I'm sorry, my
Any
bad.
pronouns made it easy.
Perfect. Oh, that's good.
Whatever's easiest to remember.
Yeah.
I will relay that information to Judge Claude.
Great.
Jerry, did you have an idea?
I am simply following along. If you wish to go sneaking through the servants' quarters, I say let's do that.
It was more like me stealing a servant's outfit so that you could be present for or be, undercover as a servant at the gala or whatever.
I think that would
I
definitely suit better than me wearing stuffy guard armor. Because after all, I'm not as tall as I used to be.
I will say
Used to
also
be
that
tall.
while the like the guards forces on the island are primarily Wolfavian, the servants are made up of all the races. There's servants there are human servants, there are Catniperi servants, there are anybody could pass in a servant's outfit. Pretty easily.
Okay, yeah, that's why I wanted to get servants' outfits rather than guard. I was just like, well, this guy's here. We might as well. I mean, like.
Yeah. No. I think that you've been making good decisions so far. I'm just also trying to fill out the information that you have access to.
To know for the guard checkpoints, because my idea is that we stick close to the wall and we cut through the jungle, and try to go around the checkpoints. But I don't know exactly where those are or how they work in relation to what we're doing. Like, is there wild portions of the palace grounds that we can like navigate through in order to get to our destination, or do we have to go through the checkpoints? In which case, I definitely don't have any ideas for that part.
Between like the very center of the palace grounds are made up of the main palace building as well as the 3 lower court buildings, and between those structures and the external structures, there's absolutely jungle that can be cut through. However, that central area between those 4 buildings and the amphitheater between them is all clean cut, like pavement. It's all been cleared out, and so trying to there is no jungle to cut between those specific places. Everywhere else, though, there absolutely is. Also, like the way that the checkpoints typically work is that they're just set up along like the main paths, and usually they're just like guards just watching for suspicious activity and occasionally like checking somebody's identification. Um, they're not the most stringent. Um, However, what with the gala going on right now, and also there's probably going to be a huge influx of non-clergy because of the gala. Who's to say what it is that the security even looks like right now? It's not a situation that you are particularly familiar with.
Okay. Well, I would say if there's a way for us to move through the jungle towards our destination, that's probably what we would agree, right? Is everybody on board for that, or do you want to try taking like the main roads?
Would go for the jungle, but if we have to use the checkpoint, I do have an item that we could use charm person on a guard if need be.
Okay. Well, why don't we? Is there hmm?
Are
Because
you guys trying to move towards the servants' quarters? Is that just where you're
Yeah.
going through the jungle? Yeah, through the jungle is the straightest course there anyway, especially from where you guys are. There's not really any main roads from the space that you're at. It's kind of just dirt paths that servants might have used to come out here. Like game trails is essentially what's out here right now.
Are you
So-
okay with that? Oh, go
Yes,
ahead.
I am fine with that. I am, because if you don't know, I used to be quite an adventurous paleontologist. I've gone through a couple of jungles in my time.
Good. You don't have to worry about you. Judge, any objections?
And it just scowls at you.
I would like to pat him on the
As
back,
you
saying,
must.
"Oh, lighten up, good chap."
I don't light. Let's go. Let's be done with it.
Into the jungle. The grandmother's house we go.
Awesome. You guys cut through the center of the jungle on the island.
To be stealthy, DM.
Yeah, and I would
You
like,
like
to
to be
also,
stealthy as you do so?
I'm trying to be stealthy as I do so.
Okay. Everybody roll stealth checks for me that's trying to be stealthy.
Judge makes absolutely no attempt at being stealthy at all.
Great. And I will take that into account.
Yeah, and I can't be stealthy with my old crickety bones.
Okay, well, maybe I got a 27, so can that just be like a
27.
group stealth check?
Yeah, so if it were a group stealth check, then you would have failed. But if it's not that, then we've just got a couple of guys walking through the jungle, and then yeah, just two. Then what we have is 2 guys walking through the jungle by themselves, and that's what that is. I think that I rolled a couple of dice here, and you guys, I think that the most interesting thing that you guys see while you're there is you will occasionally come across the burned out corpse of an olive tree. As you can see that the Jarl is probably incredibly jealous about how many of these there are and making sure that they're all very contained. And so every now and again you'll pass one of those.
They're burned out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, like we don't see very many that are like alive.
So you
thriving?
you're seeing a lot of just regular trees, but whenever you see an olive tree, it is the corpse of one. It is the scarred remains of one.
He
That
doesn't
has
want
been-
to share oil. No undocumented trees allowed.
And as you guys push through, you hear critters all around you, insects scurrying underneath you, strange squawking in the distance that none of you have ever heard before. You come up on the maintenance buildings and the servants' quarters.
Okay. Would I know? Can you tell me the layout of the servants' quarters?
Totally. So there's like a few rows of housing quarters that are sort of like picture like college apartments, right? Like what single story college apartments.
I'm looking specifically for the laundry.
Yes. So there's a few long rows of buildings with like one hallway down the middle that are residential buildings, and then to the side there are the maintenance buildings that are just like across the sidewalk basically from these buildings, but on the side of the buildings that you are at. And you can see that there are also some servants bustling. Actually, you can see that there are an unusual amount of servants bustling back and forth, trying to, like, you can see carts of laundry going in. You can see that there is, like, steam, like, flying out of the chimneys of the plumbing building as you can hear, like, shouting from inside. Things are, this is a surprisingly active part of the island right now.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna use the cantrip minor illusion, and I'm going to make myself look like dirty, like muddy and dirty and grimy and stuff. So just like all over my clothes, just make it look like I'm dirty, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go towards the laundry. And actually, I'm gonna try to be stealthy at first and go in towards the laundry. I'm just looking for like one of the big laundry bins that is got stuff in it that is unattended.
Great. Can I have you roll stealth for me?
Yeah, it's my bread and butter, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 11 plus 11, 22.
22. Awesome. Let me just...
Sneak with my little kitty paws over to the laundry basket.
Great. Okay. This is an impressive feat, honestly. There are like dozens of servants all around, and you just like clock where every single person is watching, and just you watch as those blind spots move across the sort of the courtyard, and you just inhabit them as you just sort of glide across, just staying exactly outside of everybody's peripheral like line of sight, and just finds yourself inside a laundry room where there is a load that is like there's like clotheslines that are that have like sort of a heating elements beneath them that are drying large loads of clothes.
Great. I'm just gonna be like sneaky, plink, 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 pulling clothes off of the clothesline. Just like grabbing as many as I can like grab before somebody comes inside. Blink,
like Avatar Season 3 Episode 1 style, just running through and just grabbing down some clothes. And I think you're able just to slip out just as easily as you slipped in, now laden with servants' clothes in approximate sizes of the three of you.
Yes, a bunch of random. I don't think I'm gonna need them, but them definitely is gonna need them.
Great.
But
are you aiming for any kinds of like uniforms in particular? Because there are like the sort of standard serving uniforms, but there's also like I said, guards uniforms, as well as the sort of dress that is typical of a few various positions within the Jarl Ecclesia, including like some lower level clergy. If you're looking at those.
I guess I would. No, I think clergy would be, well, maybe Judge Claude would be more comfortable as a clergyman, actually.
I bet he would love that. I bet he would love to look like the clergy here.
My focus going into this was specifically for serving and kitchen staff, because I
Yeah.
know, especially for a gala like this, that there's going to be like a surplus of extra help that have been like brought in. Like there's way more than the normal castle staff, I imagine, because of the event.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon to see unfamiliar faces, and I want them to be able to move around the gala at will, like freely. So
I
I'm going
think
for
that is some just really sharp observation there, and I'm going to give you inspiration for that, so you can just have advantage on a roll of your choice in the next 10 minutes of game time.
okay. Then I will
And
say
dope. And yeah, super sharp observation. So I think you're absolutely right. The serving and kitchen staff uniforms, by the way, are slightly different. There's like the folks that are moving in and out of the kitchens are mostly the serving staff, but there's also a separate uniform for the kitchen staff. Are you just grabbing serving staff uniforms?
I think that's going to give them the most access to the. Oh, you know what? Actually, I will grab 2 servants, and then I'll grab a clergy outfit in case one of them wants to have it. Like there may be an opportunity for someone to change or do something at the event or whatever. So I'll just grab
Fantastic.
it. So that's my 3
Totally,
outfits that I grabbed.
Stuff. All right, in your sack, you right back out the same way you came in, and here you are back at your comrades in the jungle.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna hand them the pile. Here you go.
Ooh,
You guys.
what nice clothes you got for us. Don't you think so, holy man?
No, definitely not.
But look, she's got a clergy outfit just for you.
Don't even bother.
I'll hold on to it just in case you decide to change your mind.
Yes. Yeah. So the gala isn't until tomorrow, right?
So it's like 2 a.m. right now.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So there's like there's still the island is still very active, especially in preparation for the gala. But the gala is going to be held like all day tomorrow and into the night. It like gala is kind of a loose word for it. It's a series of parties that are happening one after the other. Like this is a huge event. It's just kind of unending, and as soon as like one party sort of clears out, there's just another space that's going to be occupied while the last one is cleaned up with new music or new events or whatever. And as they kind of everybody cycles through the entire palace grounds a few times.
Would you say that they'll feast and then they'll feast and then they'll feast?
Is that a song lyric?
Anybody? French, Grinch
You're
Stole
a reference
Christmas.
to this old man.
That's great.
The Grinch is a classic.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. They'll feast and feast and feast on what is it? Cyanide sandwiches with arsenic sauce.
That's only for the Grinch, but
That's
yes,
only for the Grinch. My bad.
You did get it. See,
I got there. All right.
Luke is there.
I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here picking up all these loose references that people are chucking out the side. I'm the gatherer of them. It's a solemn and burdensome responsibility, but I'm willing to take it.
So my thoughts are, well, so okay, I'm gonna, like sit. We've got a pretty secure spot right now here in the jungle, so let's talk a little bit. We need to get rid of, in order to get the Jarl to come out. I know you guys heard that the Jarl was supposed to come out and make this big announcement, but that's not true. He's not going to come out, but we can get him to come out, and we have to do that by not killing, but maybe gently maiming and or getting sick this guy named Gallus. So that's gonna be our best bet of getting the Jarl to come out. So we need, because this guy is actually the guy that's gonna do the speech. This guy, Gallus.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
to get rid of him, Like, listen, I have an intelligence modifier of 0. Okay.
I'm sorry. I wasn't even like, I was like looking at between my notes, and then I just heard that, and I was like, oh, that's the I have to latch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like it was just an opportunity. Like I didn't even think about. I'm sorry. You keep going. Does
So
that make sense?
yeah, Gallus. Do I know what Gallus looks like? Can I describe it? Can you,
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
I'm gonna open my mouth, and you
So
describe.
Gallus Lucan is a member of the tear-stained what did I call it? The tear-stained palace, right? So he's a member of the Jarl's personal court, though the sort of ruling court over the 3 lower courts, which is made up of mostly humans, and he is ancient. He's ancient by anybody's standards. It's amazing that he is able to stand up, and he always does so with just like way more oomph than you expect him to be able to. He can't be less than 110, right? Like he's still got the energy of a spry 75-year-old. It's absurd.
So you're telling me I can disguise myself as this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you and him are basically identical. um he's usually seen wearing the robes of the High Cardinal, which are like big and white with sort of gold like shoulders and a gold cross. Or wait, not cross, because what is the symbol of the Jarl in this world? Maybe like a big golden teardrop, like in the center of his chest. Um, yeah, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of those very tall, funny-looking hats. That's also got I think the hat is gold and there's a white teardrop on it as well, with some sort of red accents on the ends of his sleeves and things. But he is not hard to make out in a crowd. He's spottable, though in a crowd of clergy, he's a little bit more disguised.
So I guess.
where is he? Let's kill him and be done with it.
Well, hold on, good sir. We're not meant to kill him. Just temporarily make him unavailable.
Or permanently make him unavailable. That sounds better.
Now, good holy man. We only use violence as the last means of resort. After all, it is difficult to clean up the bodies.
It's not.
Hey, you guys know how in movies sometimes characters will start a conversation and then it'll cut like between 2 sentences and they're in a completely different place and it's like a completely different time of day and they're just still having the same conversation as though no time has passed, but really like so much time has passed, it's weird.
Telling me this happened just now while we're having tea.
We're gonna cut mid this conversation. You guys are just suddenly picking it up as it's the next morning and the gala is picking up around you. As you can see, you guys are not inside the gala yet, but you're the edge of the gala and you can see the sort of security around the border, and you can see the party mixing and mingling inside, and you can see as new arrivals are coming into the party, they're being announced by a posh-looking servant with a dude with a trumpet next to him, and there's everybody. There's a mix here between like people in clergy outfits and people in like very modern, very stylish like suits and suspenders and tuxes and flapper dresses and those fun little hats. As there's like kind of this tinny music that's playing through from some live band deeper in the palace, probably, as you being played through like the gramophones that are spread out through the structure, and you can see the party is moving around.
I'm
You
sorry.
guys are still having this conversation.
Deep house music?
Sorry?
I'm sorry, did you say deep house music?
Sorry. No, listen. Deeper in the palace, there's a live band somewhere singing into a microphone, and you are hearing the tinny echoes of it through the this time's excuse for speakers.
Okay.
Assuming at this point, we are dressed up in our butler tuxedos. Me and Chris.
What is deep house music? Is that what is that?
I've never heard that
Go on.
before.
Go on
It's
this
it's
website and just look
it's-
up deep house music and then just listen to it. It's a vibe.
Okay, all right, I will.
It's EDM.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, are you guys so essentially Ineko would have just been like, okay, so you know, you guys just need to go check in with the kitchen staff, or I mean, there's probably somebody who's taking, like, you know, the names of the people or whatever. Use your names, whatever. It's not that crazy. Just get in, get to work. I get to go in through the front door, so sorry, front doors are not for the staff.
I understand, good lady.
But I will meet you guys on the inside. She turns to Claude, she turns to Judge Claude, and she's like, hey man, listen. There's a lot of people here. Let's leave the killing for when it counts, okay? Please? Big pussycat eyes.
If I see this,
Adorable
if I see this Gallus, I make no comment.
Understood.
Especially if I see the Jarl.
Yeah. If you see the Jarl, you know, kill him. But we're not gonna get to him until we get to Gallus, so.
There are
Fine.
as you guys are observing this, or yeah, are you guys moving into this sort of party and starting to mingle? I think that you can keep this conversation going through your cufflinks at any point, so there's no reason that you guys have to stay next to each other while you're talking this through.
Yeah. Do you guys want to split up? Right? Oh, go ahead, Asher.
Roger. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1.
Let's synchronize.
As you guys are like, as this sort of party is swelling around you, I don't know if you guys are necessarily inside of it yet, but there's people moving around, and you're able to hear some of just the gossip and chit chat from where you are of like the party goers nearby you. Can I have Judge and Jerry make perception checks? You guys specifically.
That's an 8.
An 8?
Yeah. So good.
That's a 10 for me.
10?
Woo!
Forget I said anything. You guys can't hear anything. You guys are just chatting with each other, and it's great. And it's so fun, and you're loving it.
I'm just not loving it at all.
Yeah, all right. What I think though that with those numbers you are able to look around, and I think that you can spot off in the distance a few of those big tall wonky looking hats that could narrow down where the guy you're looking for is. And you can also see a number of guards, some of them around the perimeter of the party, some of them following people of note through the party. Yeah, I'm interested in. I'm sorry I keep cutting in, but what are you guys? How are you guys approaching this? What are you guys doing?
So first thing, do me and Judge know about the powder that Ineko was given?
Nick, what did you tell us about that?
I guess I would have. And also, I wouldn't mind giving it up to either of you, because I think that you guys would have more opportunity to use. I mean, maybe. What do I have in my backpack? Hold on one second. I have a flask. So I think that the night before, I probably would have emptied out my flask and put some of the powder in it, and then given the little bottle to if one of the two gentlemen would like to take it.
I would like to take it.
And I will keep the
And-
for myself.
Okay,
with the-
and just to make sure, the powder is meant to knock him out, correct?
It's a sedative. Yeah.
Okay.
And I
Alright.
think I have less likely of a chance of killing the old man now that the dose has been split in half as well.
Got it. We don't
It was
want
always there was always a chance.
Yeah.
All
Before
right.
we got into this, can I retcon that I would have done a ritual cast for Find Familiar before we started the day?
100%. What familiar are you casting?
I would like for it to be a rat.
A rat? Okay.
Rat.
Yeah. So just like you guys, you're all talking in the jungle, and suddenly we cut to the same conversation happening, but you're all in your uniforms, and you just have a rat.
Yes. He's
and
on my
I
person.
I think then that I think then that there's a couple of things that you notice as you are here in this moment. One of them is Judge. You heard suddenly out of nowhere the phrase "tears of divinity" be said angrily by you in some direction around you, and Jerry, you are seeing you notice that there's a lot of like sort of big I'm gonna stop saying opulent. Big,
Opulent.
beautiful lights, sort of illuminating this whole plaza that this sort of party is taking place on. There's like a fountain in the middle of it, and on top of one of these lights, you see a purely white-colored raven, that is just catches your attention. And I want to just say those two things out loud as Judge, you turn and you see the person that you heard say something about the Tears of Divinity being a guard, a Wolfavian guard, wearing a uniform that seems to have a lot of rankings on it, shouting at another guard next to them. And you see this white raven, and I think that that's where I want to call it for tonight. I think that we're wrapping up, and we can get into this party and the heist that's going to go down here next time.
Yeah.
How are we doing, everybody?
Good.
You guys ready? You guys
Good.
ready for some heisting?
I'm so ready to heist this guy to death.
Heist it.
Yeah.
Seems like there's
All
gonna
right,
be a murder.
That has been our game. Thank you guys for joining in. Those of you that have been here with us, hope you enjoy. Hope you tune in next time. It's going to be great. Next time we will be streaming on Wednesday, the 14th. Same time, same channel. And we will be continuing this assassination plot against the Jarl of Storyellus. So please join us then. Should we do plugs?
Yeah. Plug everything. We should go in reverse order. And Neko, you go first this time.
Okay. Hi, I'm Christine. I was playing the roguelike Ineko Montoya today. And you can find me on Instagram at slumber.jane. You can find me on Twitch at slumberjane. And you can find me on the Initiative Order, Time to Dice, or Prepare to Dice, excuse me, here on 225, and a couple of other channels scattered around. You'll find me in the TTRPG Twitch lurking about.
Awesome.
My name was Asher. I played Jeremiah Rassick Park, who was our resident dinosaur professor druid. I do not have any social media for you to go check out, so that would be me.
Nice.
You can find him at Twitch, 225 games.
Nice.
Occasionally. I'll maybe lurk in the chat there.
Lurk. Nice. My name is Chris. Again, I was playing the judge, which was really weird because this is the first time I ever played like a serious character, and it feels kind of weird not making jokes. And I'm like, no, stick to it. Stay the angry person. Be the angry person. So
And he lets
that'll
us
be
all make
interesting.
jokes at your expense, which is just
That's
just as good.
that's what he's here for. Please do, please do. Yeah, this is great. I'm with 225 Games, with Garrett. He's here in the background. He's also lurking. So feel free to say hey, Garrett. In the chat.
Awesome. And I'm Luke. You can find me on Instagram. Sorry, gave it a little bit of a pause there. But I'm Luke. You can find me on Instagram at Luke the DM and on Twitch at JustLilLuke. Go check me out there. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.